All right, guys, it's 5:30 by that clock, so we're going to call the meeting to order. Okay, so we have, if you guys had a second to look at the secretary's report?
Yes, I did.
You did. Anybody have any questions on that?
No.
No? Okay. This isn't on the report, but I guess if I have a question on something that happened with an ARB, I'll do it at the ARB time. Yeah, okay. All right, so we're all set. Can anybody make a motion? Barb, did you get to see him?
Yes.
Okay. Yep. Anybody want to make a motion to accept the minutes?
I make a motion to accept the minutes from the August 2024 meeting.
Second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. All right, now we have our treasurer's report. Tiffany, you want to read that?
For the month of July, the total assets and liabilities were $33,999.33. There was a year-to-date deficit of $3,313. That's mostly due to the sign repairs, which made the ground maintenance over budget $1,856. Utilities is under budget $163. And management administrative is over budget $747, and that's due to the legal expense from the tree issues and the CPA services.
Any questions?
The only question that I had is I noticed that I didn't see a reflection of that 10,600, whatever it was exactly that from the last month's meeting. I didn't notice a reflection in that it had been transferred over.
It has not yet. They're still they have a it's a balance in the it's going.
Okay.
I can't explain it, but yeah, it's.
I just didn't know if there was
takes
like
more.
a
Yeah.
specific turnaround.
Yeah,
I
it
just
takes
noticed I
time to
didn't see it.
transfer equity, so it's in the works.
Okay.
Okay. Anybody else have a question on the finances? We're good? Okay. Tiffany's report.
For the month of August, the board pack was created, draft minutes completed, ARB applications were sent to the owners, invoices were processed and approved. Financial summary for July was completed. I reviewed the delinquent accounts. The property visit was completed on 8/19. I followed up on open violations and sent new violations. The annual meeting mailing, the first mailing went out. It was prepared and mailed out, and the draft budget was completed.
Okay. Anybody have any questions on that? No questions? All right. Then we can move on to the ARBs.
I have a question. Someone asked me when our meeting was, and I told them, did you receive a ARB for 3441 Gelding for painting?
I don't think so. Not sure. The last thing I have from 3441 Gelding was from 2022.
Okay. Well, then maybe they didn't submit it, but they specifically asked me when the meeting was.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so for the ARBs, just back to last month before we start, we had one for 3470 Country Walk, and that was to approve the roof, but it was contingent on receiving a sample of the shingle color. And I don't remember getting a sample of that, did you?
I have not yet, no.
And the roof has been put on. So
Okay.
did we do anything about that?
I can send him a letter, another
Okay.
letter for it.
All right.
Was that the same one that we were
We have-
waiting for a color for?
No, I have that one.
That's 3471,
3470
3470 Country
Country
Walk.
Walk, yeah. Did not get that. The roof was put on, but it was contingent on receiving a copy of the shingle, the color. Also, then the 3458 Martingale. They were painting, and we needed the paint samples.
Mhm.
So that's gonna be the house, which is in the color, then that's gonna be the front door. It's like a blue-black, I think. So the house.
It looks
is
like
blue-black.
a slate, like a real
Yeah.
dark
It
gray.
says accent, but if you look at it and tip it, it looks a little on the bluish gray side, blue-black side.
Jim, can you reach it? To me, I get a slate color out of that.
Yeah,
I do too.
yeah, I get a slight blue out of it, don't you?
I think it's just we're going with this one here, right? This one.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
just a wee bit darker than that one.
Yeah.
That's a true slate to
Yeah,
me.
and this to me, it's got a little tinge of blue to it,
Yeah.
but everybody
Nice.
say it's okay?
Yeah,
Okay.
I like it.
Yep, I think
I'd
you
do
told her to go ahead, 'cause I
Mhm.
sent you that, yep. So she's good with that. So that was the follow-up on the two that we had from the last time.
Well, for some reason, I was thinking we were questioning a light pole.
We did. Well, we approved the planters, but we did not approve the lamp posts and the mailboxes because of the color, and you sent them a letter?
Yes, and they said that, that she sent it back and said that it's gonna be the color that's required.
White,
What
brown,
color
or
was,
black?
what address was that?
That is
34.
3446 Country Manor.
Um, Yeah, they reached out and said that I believe it's brown. She said that she'll be painting it brown. She was confused as to why there was even a question. Like she acted like there was no issue on there.
Because she was going to have it match the color of the fence, which she can't.
Mhm.
Because I did notice there is a fence. I don't remember approving the fence, but it's a two-tone fence. It's white frame and then the tan pillars that are in there. So it can't be tan, but it can be white, brown, or black.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah, because the
approved-
color submitted that we looked at was like a tan color.
Yeah, yeah. So it's not going to, it's got to be that.
Yeah, she said it was going to be brown.
Okay. But it can't be the tan brown. It's got to be
No,
brown.
it's got to be brown. Yeah.
All right. So those were the two issues we had then. All right, so now we can go on to the ARBs. In your packet, if you have a packet, you should have one from 3436 Country Walk. And she wants to install a 6-foot white vinyl fence. And there's the diagram here. It looks like she's gonna go from just the front, just almost to the front of the house, not quite one side angled to the back. There's a fence back there, I believe, already. And then Barb, your fence is along the other side of it.
Yeah,
Yep, and so she'll put a little piece right there. So that would, anybody have any questions on that? What fence is behind her, Barb?
I don't think there is a fence. There's an old chain link fence from the people that live behind her.
Oh, okay. All right, so that's what she must be going into, because that's where it says it stops.
Mm-hmm.
It's mostly hedges though. The fence that's behind her is all covered with vines and hedges and stuff. At least it was when her grandmother lived there. It was all covered over.
Okay. So, and that backs up to the other development though, doesn't it? Or back up?
Mm-hmm.
She has extra yardage there
Yeah.
from that they gave her.
Yeah,
over
from
there.
over by, was it Pepper Hill over there? That group over
Pepper
there?
Mill, and
Yeah.
I think it's wooded area there.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, any questions? No? We're good? All right, we're all set to approve that one? Okay, so Lexi's all approved on that. You want to sign and pass it along, and we'll... All right, now we're going to go with 3486 Country Walk. And it's Rose over here. This is amended from her last one. She could not get that temporary fence that she likes, or that semi-permanent, or whatever they call it.
Yeah.
So she's gonna go with a aluminum that looks like iron. I don't see on here where the fence is gonna go though, 'cause like it can't go to the road, so where,
No.
yeah,
There was,
It's at an angle.
yeah.
right,
So it can only really go up to like here. It
I
can't
think
go-
this is it.
Oh, I didn't see that one.
Yeah.
I'm
Goes-
sorry.
Yeah, I was
It
gonna
goes
say there
from
was
the
another
back
sheet in
corner
there.
of the house
Okay.
to the bushes, and then from the
Back
back
corner.
corner to
Okay.
the white
Okay.
stockade.
All right, it's gonna look like that.
Yep.
So,
Nice.
you wanna?
Can I say that?
Yep.
Yeah, very nice.
All right, so, you already
have to
saw it
sign it?
yourself? Well, we have to approve it first. We got it right here. So if you want to put it together. We approving? We're good? Okay.
Yes.
All right, go ahead and sign it and approve it. Did she send you over? Oh, you got it. All right, and now Chester, you would like to paint your front door, your rear door, and your garage, possibly your garage door. Okay, he sent us two colors. He would like this color if this color is approvable. If not, he'll go with this color. So I'll pass the colors to you to see. Remember, they gotta be earth tone.
Ask an ARB question while you're, are we allowed metal roofs?
Well, that's a question we haven't really got the answer to yet. We are allowed tile roofs. We are allowed composition roofs. But we haven't figured out if it's what we can do with metal roofs yet.
Because the roofing companies are kind of pushing and encouraging, because the cost is about the same, and they're encouraging us because they wear better. But I don't see any metal roofs in our subdivision yet, so I was wondering if they were allowed.
No.
I'm probably gonna be doing roof shopping, in the not too distant future. And I was just wondering if that's an option.
Well, we haven't really come up with an answer on that. And I don't know if we can, we haven't really legally figured out what we can do on that yet.
If it's a safer bet, let's say that they're more durable and you don't hear shingles flying, isn't that a reason to think about it?
Well, to think about it, but it's actually, we have to go with what the docs say and what they, because it has to stay with the like of the subdivision type thing. That's the whole thing we have.
Would the color be the important thing?
Color would be very important, plus the aesthetic look of the development and what we're doing with that, if we were keeping it, you know what I mean?
The country rustic.
Yeah.
I'm one of the original owners, I
Yeah.
remember that.
So that's
yeah.
where we're at and trying to decide what legally we can and can't do with it and what we need to do with it.
I'm wondering, how that would look on our home. I wish we could find a home in another subdivision that's done it with our style
So,
lines.
yeah.
And see if it really jumps out that it's inappropriate.
I mean, now they have some of those roofs that look like they're shingled. The metal roof looks shingled or they look like clay. So I don't know if we can say, okay, you could have one if it looks like this, because it would keep with the looking of the house. I don't know.
Yeah.
And those, I think, are more money, so I don't know.
Our roofs have been touted 30 years now, the insurance companies at 15 are telling you can't.
Yeah, but they're still gonna tell you on a metal roof, if it's 50 years or 30 years, you're still gonna have to replace it earlier, so.
Yeah.
It still doesn't
You
matter.
listen to all of the hype and.
Yeah.
It's a question I have.
All right, so do we have any questions on the color? I'm trying to look at our,
The two that you just handed us,
yes,
I'm okay with either color.
okay. I'm just looking at our PDF here for our,
Because that one, even though it has like a blue hue, I still pick up gray out of that. It's just, there's like a gray brown, a gray
Yeah.
green.
You're really not gonna see it, because I have the screen in front of the garage door and I have the store door. So you ain't gonna really see much.
Yeah, I still pick up more gray than I do with either one of those colors.
it won't let me open it, so I can't tell. So you're good with either color?
I'm good
You're
with either color.
The only man on the board, I'm not gonna argue color with the ladies.
All right, so
They're both
you can choose whichever color you want there, Chester.
All right, thank you.
they're both very good.
I
Well,
can't.
I
the only one that has to look at it is Jim. He's really possible.
Which one do you want, Jim?
Do we need to make a note on there that either color is approved, whatever one they choose, so there's no question later?
Yeah, put a Adirondack blue or dark gray, or what
One
is it,
says
dark
one
gray?
on there.
Yeah, just, we're gonna approve either color that, so if you
It's
choose-
just that if it's written on there, it won't be questioned later.
All right, so, next one. 3490 Country Walk. They'd like to cut down a large camphor tree in the front yard. It's diseased and has large above-ground roots spreading to the yard. And he sent me pictures of the roots. The tree and the roots, that's one of them. So this is the ARB, and he sent me also, this is the arborist, not the homeowner, not the arborist, the tree company, that he doesn't really need to get a permit with this because it's a camphor tree, which is an invasive tree. So you don't need a permit for invasive trees. The type of tree it is, permits from this is, he screenshotted it from the city, like permits not to be needed for that type of tree.
Where's the tree located on
It is at 3490 Country Walk.
No, I mean on this
It
property
is
or?
on his property, it's in the front yard,
Okay.
okay? I did print the pictures out, so you guys can take time to look at it, and they got above ground roots. The roots are coming close to his house, or her house. He is the tree guy. He was not happy when I told him he couldn't do it last week when they came to my door. And there's more pictures of the roots. So if you guys wanna, I'll send you guys to look at before we approve it. So I asked him for an arborist report, and he says he does not need an arborist, and he will not pay for an arborist because it's an invasive tree, and the city says it does not need to come down. Or I mean, the city says it does not need a permit. But because it has the roots going towards the house, he said, they want to take it down.
What kind of tree is it?
Camphor? I don't know.
And it's diseased? That's what he says, it's diseased?
We'll go on, is it,
But he doesn't have a report saying it's diseased?
no.
But it's on his property.
It's on his property. But they said the roots coming towards the house are creating issues.
We'll have to squeeze every bit of oil out of that tree. That's a really healthy oil.
But as they say, it's an invasive tree.
Yeah. It's an Australian tree.
I don't know. To me, it's a pretty tree again, but
Look at that root system too.
yeah, that's what the
That would
problem
freak me
was.
out a little bit. Like I said, I would find somebody who could squeeze every drop of tea tree out of it.
Mhm. I mean, I guess the one going towards the front
That's
room.
coming to the
I just
house, right?
questioned
Is
the
Well,
that
yeah,
what that
this-
one is?
about
Going there?
Yeah.
ALB.
It goes,
They said they sent it, I said, asked them if they could
It's okay.
screenshot it and text it to me.
it's the other end
They
of this
said they
one. So
sent
this
it.
is one picture.
What's their name?
This would be
Their
that
I
picture
see.
That's
like that.
34, it's
And that's
3441.
It's pretty rough.
Kelvin.
It is a beautiful tree, unfortunately, and
I mean, I have, if you need a better view of one, I have them here, so that's that one where it's coming towards the
I don't have
house.
anything
That's
from
a
them
mess.
since January 2024.
no way cleaning that mess up.
May of
So-
Oh, that's too
2023.
bad.
All right, pass it on and see if anybody else want to see that or have questions, we can,
That's still the tree with the roots we're discussing?
yeah. Want to prove it or did not. I know.
It is a beautiful tree.
It's a beautiful tree.
And he came to my house and said, or the owner came and gave me that, and then
They can't remove
They
some of
called
those
me.
roots without it.
Did you verify with the city that that's,
he screenshotted it from the city page, and I,
We don't even need to know if it's diseased or not. correct?
Oh, they just sent it on Friday
They
to
don't-
my community care,
The city doesn't require a permit,
or
To
on the
take that down.
30th.
Right.
so we just need to approve if we want it out of our
And,
development. That's all. I mean, it's on his property,
It's on
so.
his property.
Okay, because they were pretty
You can
adamant
see it
that they
definitely
sent
is.
it.
That's an awful long distance from the house.
Yeah, they
It's an old
just sent it
tree.
on Friday, and I was out of the office, and then we were closed yesterday, and the
Oh,
thing was already sent.
Do you have a way you can pull it up?
How close up? I'm trying to
This is,
understand
if you look at this one, it's coming up. See how it's going towards the
it.
house?
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah. When it prints like that, it's weird,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so.
I guess my only question would be, can you cut some of that root system out without hurting the tree? But if it's diseased,
Yeah,
we
I
don't
just got it
know.
on Friday. It's
Yeah,
right here.
here's the,
But
we
it's,
sent the copy of the
Yeah, I got it. It was just sent on Friday.
so do we want to approve that or not, or what? Do we, then,
I mean, just because we think it's a pretty tree, do we
Yeah.
have the right to tell someone they
No,
can't cut their
exactly.
tree?
No. The roots are really
mhm.
horrifying. So I go with let them do what they want to do.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
pretty-
Absolutely,
Yeah. And this is a-
regardless of how.
If you look at this, you
beautiful
can
it
see there's the two big roots. And then I got another one where it shows that it's right near his house.
Yeah, if it's gonna cause damage to the structure of their home, I don't think it's fair that we make them keep that tree.
Yeah.
I'm okay with approving it.
Yeah. Okay, so,
Do you want me to go ahead and sign it and pass it back around? Or are you still working on that?
okay, well, do you want to ask
Uh,
that
yeah,
the tree
if
get
it's on his
replaced?
pro- If it wasn't on his property.
Can we require him to replace the
If
tree?
it's on his property and it's heading for his
The
house.
If
city-
that's on, if the
That-
city's not requiring it, I
Yeah.
don't see how we
We
can.
can.
It's not
Yeah,
our
that would be up to
property.
the city.
Yeah.
The
I'll
city
be good with
doesn't
them doing
require
Yeah, I
it to
think
be
we have no
replaced.
choice
Let
on
him-
this one.
If it
As
As
wasn't
much
on
as we
his-
hate to see it cut down.
Yeah.
We can ask them, but we can't require it. Can we do that? Can we say, could you replace it and not require them?
Well, wouldn't the
The city-
city, they have to have X amount of trees per
But this isn't,
whatever.
yeah, but this, I don't, if it's an invasive tree they're taking down, they're not required to put another tree up. But we can ask them if they would put a tree up instead.
You can ask, but I don't think
We
that,
can't require it, but we can
No.
ask them, right?
I personally would leave it alone, but
Yeah.
you guys
me
make
too.
the decision.
Yeah, I'd leave it alone.
All right. Then you wanna approve
So we're
it?
approving?
I mean, when it was our property, I think we had the right to do that. With this, that's different being personal property.
Mhm.
Could destroy a
But
lot.
it does show something. There are many invasive trees
Mhm.
that are fine, you know,
Yeah.
it's
does.
kind of overdone, that it's invasive, yeah.
All right, so we have,
It's been there a long time.
3431 Spring Oak. They're asking for up and over roofing, Port Orange, to replace the roof. They sent, their survey, and I believe the color of the roof. And this is, so they sent a sample, the same color that's there now. It might be a different brand. You want to coordinate with the paver stones in the driveway. And if you need anything else, just ask them. So if you want to look at that, we can see if we can approve that one. So did you have another one that we got?
Yeah, they just
Okay.
sent it on Friday afternoon.
Let me do this one and then we'll do that.
Okay.
Definitely get all these out of the way. It's the same color. It's gonna match their pavers in the driveway, she said.
So what? Explain
That's the
it.
color. That's the roof
This is the
color.
one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And those are the pavers.
Yeah, looks okay.
Okay.
You just
Okay,
hit
me.
No, nobody got to see these because it came in my email or my house, so.
Under certain situations, though, I understand when people don't have computers and things like that, but we're getting an awful lot of these that people are,
I know. Yep.
so, this is
No,
the
that's their
desk?
That's-
Okay,
that's
I'm
the
just
roo-
making
yeah,
sure I'm
the
not
roof
looking at
and the
wrong.
shavers.
Okay. I'm okay with that.
Okay, you wanna approve it, and we'll pass it back the other way. All right, then the last one I have, and then Tiffany will have one, it's 3454 Saddleback. Want to replace the roof, and they sent a sample of the roof color, and that's just the ARB paper. So if you wanna look at that one,
That roof's been done.
that roof's been done.
That's the Saddleback?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That roof's been
that's the
done.
one I told you about.
Yeah.
Oh,
Jim,
Okay. Well, so, but we did we approve it and we just waited for the color, or was that?
no.
no.
That's the one where I explained the other person lives out of state.
Oh, okay, yep. So Michelle had talked to them and told them, and so she said, get the ARB in. And
Okay.
so there's, one of the people live there, I guess they're splitting up, one's out of state, and the one that's in state isn't following the rules, the one that's out of state wants to follow the rules, so.
Are those ones signed?
Jim, that one,
So,
Oh.
she's got-
we're approving it.
Yeah,
Let it
I
go.
explained to
She's-
her that it had already been started, and
Yeah.
I made her aware, and anyway, she tried to
Karen's
correct
very
it.
nice. Cut her a break, she's
I don't know,
She's
that's.
very nice.
Yeah. So. Alright. And so you sign that one, maybe that's it. Here's that one for you to. take a picture of. You doing okay, Barb?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Just so you can't see these ARBs, sorry.
Yeah,
Why don't we Zoom her when she can't attend?
I could've,
Before she could see what's
Yeah.
going
She
on.
has the one
Yeah, and then we
here.
have one for 3440. Hold on, I gotta scan that last one. Gelding, it's to paint the same exact color that the house is already painted.
Do you know which one it is?
They didn't send anything with it.
No paint?
There's no,
No. All it is just the application. Says paint exterior of home, color match, same color.
So,
it's currently a cream color.
yeah, but it's, I think we still need to request the sample just because that's what we do. I think that that way we don't have issues.
I'm trying to
Yeah.
get them.
Yeah, so I'd say we have to wait on that until we get the samples. If they get us the samples, we can pass them around and then we can do it over, like, if you wanna do it online.
Can we do that if we approve the ARB?
We do it on conditional of getting the paint samples like we did before, and then we can see the paint color. But they can't do the work until we get the paint samples.
They're saying it's the exact same colors that are there.
Yeah,
Well,
but we don't. If we require them from other people, we need to require them even if they're the same samples, same color,
You can't make an exception.
yeah. Then we're accused of playing favorites, and that's not good. So,
The person doing the job should have the samples, you know, just.
somebody should have them.
give it to them.
All right, so that concludes the ARBs. All right, so now our next is the violation and arrears.
can I ask a question? If they send you a picture of the house of the current colors, does that work or no?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so,
Thank you for coming.
thank you.
Thank you.
Take care.
This is,
All right.
You know what happens, my throat gets dry and then I start coughing, what happens if you
And then you
hold it
can't
back,
stop
it gets
it,
worse.
Exactly. Well, thanks for coming by,
Take care.
I'm glad you feel better.
Thank you.
all right, so I noticed on some of the violations that we've had 3. So you did your thing on the 19th.
Mhm.
All right, so this is by the 3rd. Okay, so if they say that, like this one right here, the very first one, it has 3, now that after this last visit it was 3, and now today's the 3rd, obviously. We don't know if they've done anything or not. And you haven't heard from them. You have to wait till the next month before they get a letter, so it'd be actually 4.
So the next letter would be a thing to the finding committee.
Okay.
So it would be, if it's not cured, then they would go to the finding committee.
Okay. But we don't have. But that's after that?
Oh, God.
That's, so with the, that's the 3rd, you said,
Mhm.
so. So, but we have to wait till the next visit, is what I'm
Yes,
saying.
and I'll be there next week.
Okay. All right, so that's like a couple of those.
Mhm.
And then, my other question was like, so this was on the 23rd of July, and it said action be taken by the 6th of August. Came through on the 19th, and the letters were out on the 20th, but was it done? The pressure washer cleaning the driveway, did they take action? And if not, should the letter have gone out?
No, so, but we have to get that new finding, policy in place,
So that's
so,
still a finding.
yes. So once we get all that in place, then we can, move forward with that. But until then, I can send them to the attorney if you'd like. And have the attorney send demand letters.
I don't know if I would send a demand letter for that. But what do you guys think? I mean, what's that cost for a demand letter?
I believe it's $150.
Because we don't have the finding committee anymore because 2 of them resigned.
Since we're close enough to the new start over of possibly new committee, new board, things like that, can we at least wait to see if we can form a new committee before we spend association money for demand letters? Because she has to put the new policy in place anyway.
Well, I mean, there's other ones I'd rather see a demand letter for than something like that. The power wash, you know what I mean? I mean, he's been doing it since when? How many times has this one been?
But I don't think
It's 020055. I mean, he's been asked, I think since May.
Which one are you referring to again? I'm sorry.
020055. First page, last one. I mean, the other ones, I don't think but this has been going on for a while. And then the other one is they've already had the same thing for 010033 about the fungus on the outside of the house. That's the last one on the 2nd page. They both have at the attorney or liens or something, right? So
This is the last one she's talking about.
I don't know who
One
the
is the
lady
one
at Century is.
The one
That's
about-
It was,
I thought
they
you
didn't
were
talk to
Yeah, she's
me,
talking about
so.
him, and
I
then she
know.
just
Yeah.
wants
So
to
this
take
one
that
says-
to-
They talked to somebody in community care, and the property profile clearly says that they need paint swatches, so I doubt that that's the case.
So the one of the houses that's already has a lien, the one house had a NOLA sent. So NOLA was the first one, the 0055, and then the
100.
0033 Has an intent to, is that anything to do with these violations?
Does it have anything to do with the violation?
Yeah, like the NOLA that was sent to the
No.
0055, that's all because of money
Yes.
not paid, right?
Correct, yeah.
So we can add on to both of those that they're not doing their violations, correct?
Mhm.
Because those are the ones that have been on the longest, I
Mhm.
think. That they're just ignoring us. I don't know, those are the ones, do you see what I'm talking about? That if we send them we can't send them to our finding committee because we have to straighten that out, then we have to ask our committee to come back, if they wanna come back. But in the meantime, we can send them a demand letter from the attorney. What's your opinion?
Well, on the 010033, they've had a lot of time.
Yeah, and if you look at the arrears, they're on there too for that. Both of them. If you look at this sheet here, the 2 and 3.
Should we, if we can stay on that one for just 1 second. When somebody's making these claims about not payment from the insurance company, maybe we should demand a letter or documentation that that's the real reason that it's being held up. Because anybody
Well,
can say
first of
that.
all, it's fungus on her house that wasn't from the insurance company.
Well, what I'm
The
saying
other one is the garage door that was, if you look back, it was way before the hurricane.
Right, no, but I'm saying also when people are making statements that they're waiting for a payout, by state law, insurance companies just can't delay a payout.
Oh, she got paid, the neighbor on the other side said she was paid for it.
Yeah, but do they know
But I
that
don't
for
have it.
sure? You
Well,
can't go by
no, but-
hearsay.
She talks to him about it, but, yeah, I mean, I don't know, can we legally ask for that?
We can ask for proof that, that they're, talking to the insurance company, yeah.
Mm.
The thing is these have been going on for a long time, even before the people just resigned for the finding committee. So I personally am not for spending the extra money until we can at least try to get something in order, because this didn't just happen.
But they were, I think the 0033 was sent to the finding committee,
Mm-hmm.
and they did choose to fine, did they not?
Mhm.
So then where does that stand?
They haven't paid the
The
fine.
fine.
It's still on there.
So,
So
Okay.
how does that work then if that was an existing fine?
well, this
We
last
can't
one isn't.
refine for the same thing, but
The fungus on the house is not
it
an
has not,
existing
yeah,
fine.
it's not.
That's not existing, the garage door is the existing fine. That was sent to the finding committee. Alright, so we're gonna let it stay as is?
What's the alternative?
Send it to the lawyer and have the lawyer send a $150 letter?
And that's to each of them?
Mm-hmm.
And then even if we send the letter, if we don't have a finding committee, how's that going to still come into play? What happens, what's the next step after they receive the letter?
The attorney does a, mediation.
So,
Well, at least one of these names has constantly been appearing. Just like the police blotter, every Saturday night, the same person getting drunk, I mean, and they swear they're not drinking,
yeah,
Yeah, if we can I think you have to, call a halt to this nonsense at some point, but whether it'll be successful, I don't know.
yeah, I don't know. Don't know. So, what's your opinion, Wendy? Jim says at least one he thinks. Michelle saying no.
I'm thinking the second one.
Okay.
That would go so far back that,
Barb, you know which one we're talking about?
Yeah, has anyone talked to, these ones right here next to me very much? I
No.
mean, I know them personally. I wonder if I should talk to them.
I don't know. I don't know if that opens up a can of worms. What do you think, Tiff?
I mean, if someone would like to, they can. I don't recommend it, but if someone's friendly with them and comfortable with it, they can.
I don't know.
I mean, I was gonna try to go down there, well, you know, my son's really sick, but
Yeah.
if I have a moment while I could run down there, I wanted to check on Janet anyway, because she's
That would be
really
this
ill.
one. That would be this one that she's talking about.
Yeah, the wife
just-
is the mother's very ill.
Right.
Okay.
I'm just showing Wendy
Alright.
which one you're talking about.
Talking about this.
Yeah,
first
she's
one.
really ill,
This one here,
and,
yeah.
I
But
was
it's-
gonna go down there and check on her,
But it's,
and
isn't it, the house is now not in their name though, it's in the other family.
right, but if he was there, I was gonna mention it to him, but you know, he can be
Yeah,
how he can be.
so, I don't know. I don't know if I'd open it up.
I don't know, I don't mind mentioning it to him.
Okay.
He can just be a jerk off, cause he just, from when he was on the board that time, he blames the board for everything.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know.
I
I
don't
don't
know.
mind mentioning it to him.
I don't know. I think I'd leave it alone right now. Leave it alone and then we'll,
Okay.
I think if we do anything, we have to do it
Of course, I
technical.
think if we send a
We need to
lawyer's
do it
letter,
on
he's
record,
just gonna
not
put it
that
in the
way.
trash.
Yeah, well, we're thinking of holding off on him for a lawyer letter, and then the other one that's been the more habitual. All right, so Jim said he thought he might have to, even though it doesn't, you say no, you say
Which
Yeah.
one about,
the 0033.
I agree that there should be a letter.
Okay.
'Cause
What
it
do you
is-
think about 0033? You think they should get a letter, Barb?
They've been a problem for years.
Yeah. Yep. It goes way
So they
back.
should get a letter, because we should probably go back to what we did to them before and put a lien, you know, eventually.
Well, they do have a lien for non-payment of association dues. They have a lien for that. So, all right. So, I got 3 that say yes, you say no, I'm gonna
I
abstain.
don't know what to do, because are they gonna do anything about it?
No,
No.
but
So are we wasting our money by sending letters?
that's what Michelle's saying. So, all right, you wanna hold off on that until we get a our finding stuff back in order? We gotta redo our.
I got no
finding.
objection to holding
Yeah.
off on it,
Okay.
yeah.
Let's
That's
hold
me,
off on
but
it then.
that's
All right,
not.
we'll hold off on it. And then we'll figure it out in November. We'll have hopefully our stuff in order on that. All right, so then, any questions on the arrears?
Oh, wait a minute, I have
Okay.
2 of these that have been corrected. I
Okay.
sent an email on one, but I verified that the other one was taken care of. I sent the email, for 0300144, that was corrected. I sent that out to everyone. And this one I just verified to make sure that this is down. The other one is 0300136. That sign's been taken down.
Okay.
So both of those are cured.
And then the other ones. All right, you guys have any questions on the violations?
I have a general question. A lot of people, not a lot, but some people are protesting the cleaning of the sidewalk, saying they don't have the responsibility for it. Is that our position, or that isn't our position? I thought that whoever owns the sidewalk is still the responsibility of the homeowner to take care of it, you know, as far as cleaning it and sweeping and things like that.
It is their responsibility, but it is not. Most people, when they clean their driveways and their house sidewalks, go ahead and do the one in the front of the house. There's nothing in our docs that say they have to do that, it's just that they have to keep their property up. If you look at it this way, the parkage isn't theirs, but they mow it still. So, there's a technically gray area there.
Well, there's usually no extra charge for doing the site. You don't get a
No.
big discount for not
No.
doing a few feet.
No.
Yeah, all right, I just wanted to.
So, but it's sort of like, you know, you gotta mow the parkage even though that's not yours.
Mhm.
So, they should. I know one of them said they weren't gonna do the sidewalk, but their guy who came to do it, did the sidewalk.
Yeah, because it's no big
Because
deal.
it's included, it's included in the price
Yeah,
they
of
usually
course.
give you.
Silly.
So unless you're doing the work yourself, it's backbreaking work,
Yeah.
they don't wanna do it, so they, you know, they say, well, I don't need to.
Yeah, all right.
So that, I guess that's, is that correct, where I'm standing on that? Yeah. All right. So the arrears, we had what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sent out for NOLAs this time in July 30th. The money's due. So then you have to wait, is it 90 days or 45?
It's 45 days for the next letter.
Okay. And then 45 days again, and then so it's a total of 90.
So it's up to this one? Is that where she's stopping, at the 6th one?
Well, there's one down
Is
at the
this
bottom.
one?
There's one down here too. There's 5 here and then one down there.
There's one down here that they were sent a NOLA, but then they paid after they sent the NOLA.
Okay. All right, well, okay.
But when they paid, they didn't do the interest on it.
Right, but I was losing track
Okay.
from the two lists.
And then the one that's 002 or 0055, is he paid? He was sent that, so is he at his 90 days
It looks
yet?
like they are paying.
They are
um,
paying. Is he paying pennies at a time?
Let's see. Okay, I'll follow up with the
Okay, 'cause
collections.
he
and
should
see,
be at
yeah.
90 days right now.
Yeah, I'll follow up with collections.
And then do you have an answer on the 2 previous ones on that? One was at the lawyers,
Yeah, one's the
And you-
attorney is handling,
but he isn't.
there has been no updates on it.
Okay.
And then the other one has a lien. So this month they'll be turned over to the attorney.
Okay.
Is this person own 2 different properties?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Does anybody else have any questions on those? No? All right, so we're all done there. New business would be our budget.
I did not include the budget in this one because it was included in the last one. Everyone was supposed to have looked over it and been familiar with
I have mine.
it. She did her homework.
You know what, I just took my packet out of my thing and
There's
put it
always
back.
one student that doesn't make it look bad.
Yeah, there's the apple.
Any questions on the budget? What do you think? You're the treasurer, you gotta go through it.
I don't really have any questions. I mean, I understand why some of these numbers are here. We're just on a strict budget and the numbers, we have to have places to fill in.
And the way I
so.
look at it is if we're under someplace and we need it someplace else, we just move it over there. If we have to. Because, what we always go over is the mailings and stuff like that anyways.
Mhm.
We just, I mean, it says X amount of money, you can't go over it, so we can't increase it, we just have to,
Yeah, there's certain places that are a little low, but with our circumstances,
yeah, we can't do it. All right, so we're good with that? All right. Street light, Country Manor and Sauls. I just asked Michelle, there's been a street light out, I've reported it twice. It's on Country Manor and Sauls, it's like right over the sign, the entrance sign. If you're coming in, it would be on the left. So you should notice it. The sensor went out. We had a windstorm at one point, and I found the sensor on the ground. I called. They didn't fix it. I called again, I said, I want the ticket number, because she wouldn't give me the ticket number the last time. And so, at last week, it still was not fixed, so I don't see a new sensor on the top, so I'm assuming it's not fixed. Okay. So that's that. We haven't had any complaints on the lawn service this time, so.
The shrub still has not been trimmed.
Yeah, he said he was going to, he didn't trim any of them.
No, and there's a lot of new flags up for sprinklers.
Haven't got that report either.
Yeah, there's a lot of flags. I do notice that when the sprinklers are coming on, I can see in the gutter where it's getting wet. The one section hasn't been wet for quite some time. There's purple flags. I don't understand what some are purple for, some are orange. But I mean, they're the same sprinklers that keep getting broken. They cannot tell us people are walking or crushing. Even the ones that are up toward the sidewalk, a car's not parking them.
Yeah, and I did have a conversation with that one. There was a woman parking. There's a new bus stop at the corner of Sauls and Country Manor. A bunch of kids were sitting there, no big deal. One kid has to sit in the car, and the parent was sitting on the parkage. And I said, "Oh, are you in our neighborhood?" She says, "Yeah." I said, "Oh, what street?" She goes, "Otter." I said, "Okay, so you're over in South Daytona." Oh, okay. So I said, our rules in our development are you can't park on the parkage, and plus we have sprinklers here, so they would get damaged. If you wouldn't mind it, I'm not telling you can't park here, just park on the street and not on the grass. And she said, okay. I haven't seen her since. Have you?
No, I have not.
So, anyway, so that was hopefully, you know.
And like I said, a lot of the flags, they're up toward the sidewalk.
Yeah.
And I mean,
she wasn't that far in.
no, no, but I mean, I'm just saying.
That's what I'm saying, so it shouldn't be.
But for them to put the blame on people damaging them, it's very unlikely.
Yeah. So, well, hopefully we'll get a report this month. If not, I'll reach out to them. Tiffany can reach out to them.
And there are some branches over the sidewalk.
Yeah.
There on Country Manor between Gaveston and Gelding that are becoming very low, and that is part of their contract is to keep it up a certain height.
And when we walked it, I asked them that to make sure they were, and I have not.
So those are becoming low.
Okay. So, all right, our next on our agenda, what you got?
I went to the police department
Okay.
to follow up on the neighborhood watch solicitation issue. And I'm not gonna go through everything I told them because I told you, with one exception, I'm gonna add one new issue. You may recall that I told you my neighbor was stopped by this guy asking to borrow a pen.
Yeah.
He's working on Commonwealth, and
Yeah.
we're like 4 miles away from there. That guy came back to that man's house at 9:30 that night,
Oh my gosh.
and the father was home. And the father went to the door but didn't open it, and he said to him, "What are you doing here at 9:30 at night? Get off my property or I'm calling the cops." So my theory about something not being
Yeah.
Who
of
says
the
it?
oil is
Just-
really on.
Yeah.
So when I
I
told
can't say
that to
what she said.
the lady at the police station, she recommended a lot of the things that we talked about. Don't open your door,
Yeah.
call 911. If you can discreetly see where they're going, do they have a car, what they're doing,
Yeah.
but don't be seen, in other words.
Yeah.
And she said, by calling the non-emergency, not the 911, but the non-emergency, she gave me the cards. If there is someone on patrol in the area that's not doing an emergency, they will do a field interrogation. I said, okay, tell me what that's all about. Why should we bother making the call? She says, this is a way that they will identify them. They'll ask for ID. They'll see if they have a permit. They'll see if they're related to a business. Do they have a vehicle? Is it just, it's not within walking distance? Where's your car? How did you get here? What are you doing here?
Yeah.
And by the fact that they will make a record of it, if someone else has a crime issue somewhere and this guy shows up on a ring or a surveillance camera, now they have more information than trying to chase him in the dark in the night of the crime.
Yeah.
So it makes sense to me now, it didn't at first, but it makes sense to me now to have someone come out and interrogate these people. So my request to the board is I would like to write an article for the Country Walk newsletter.
Okay.
And I'll go through the whole story and give them I have cards for everyone too. This is the non-emergency number, and I'll I'll make sure that that's included in the newsletter too. I encourage people, if they see someone say something, they're very helpful. The police are very supportive of us helping them because it's broad daylight. If
Yeah.
there's someone out and they're not on an emergency, they just as soon talk to these people.
Yeah.
Excuse me, I don't mean to interrupt, but the newsletter you do know is not written by us.
Yes.
Oh, okay, I just
But
wanted
it-
to make
but
sure
it
that you
comes
needed
out,
to.
and so that was my last question. Do I need to submit a draft of what I'm putting in, and who do I send it to? What do I do with it?
Mr. Bianco is who
Still does.
does
Okay,
the
good. I
newsletter.
thought so.
So
Yeah.
you would have to talk to him about
Okay, so
that.
I will give you the draft.
But you understand the board has nothing
Yes, but I want.
But it's
to
the only
know-
way to do a communication without a mailing.
Yeah, because we don't have rights to that. So
Right.
I didn't want you to think that we did and that we could tell you it was okay.
Okay.
You would have to
Well, I
coordinate that
started
with him.
here, you know, my mission
Yeah.
is to inform the neighborhood, and if I can do it through the newsletter.
And I think that's good. I would hope that's what it is. I mean, you know, he sends out notices that, hey, the garbage is gonna be picked up. That's an information thing that the neighborhood needs to know.
Yes.
You
Yeah,
know, and I
it's-
think
it's-
that's fine.
It's great information, but
Yeah.
like I said, we just can't tell you you can put it there if we
Okay.
don't have a
I
say.
didn't know, I'm asking permission
Yeah.
as to where it goes.
If you want to, yes, speak to him, we give you permission, that, yeah, go ahead. That's something that should be out in public,
Very
yes.
good, yeah, I think, just watching the behavior that I have noticed, that I've really started paying attention.
So I'm wondering why you guys get them more from that end.
Well, because they're drifting in from South Daytona, and we're like, you know, just
Yeah.
blocks, well, actually, the other side of the road is South
Yeah,
Daytona.
yeah,
And then they, you know, they're drifting in, and I know that they're casing their future,
yeah.
whatever.
Are they getting, do you know anybody over there and that, on those streets that are getting the same thing?
No, but you know, I do know, in fact, the man whose house, like the guy came
Yeah.
at 9:30, his son owns a home
Over there.
across the road. Maybe I should ask him
Yeah.
to check if they're having that problem over
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
But that's why it's coming on that end more so.
yeah.
They're infiltrating, you know, they figure it's better picking, so for.
Well, today I noticed they had the running team from whatever college there is. They were in Reed Canal Park this morning, and then when I was coming home, they were coming up Country Manor and turning down George Hacker again, so.
You know what you may want to ask is, since you're getting that from the other development and their South Daytona and that Port Orange, you might want to see if they have different rights that we may not about putting a sign towards that end on their property. Maybe that would help,
Okay.
since they are a different city.
No,
It would be
just
worth the
that, or we
question.
can find
Yeah.
out.
Well, I think they work, I mean, I think they do work together, so I think it would be
Yes.
good to have
Well,
that.
sure,
Yeah.
because if we've reported someone and
They
then
should know.
the police get it, here at APD about somebody, and if they look it up, if there's anything that correlates, and they've already talked to them,
Yeah,
they might have an address that they wouldn't necessarily
Yeah.
have when they catch them at night,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
they're on the ring. So hopefully, we can deter problems before they start. I don't ever want to have to hear of a neighbor having to fight for their life because somebody was trying to steal their stuff. you
Yeah.
know?
Mhm.
We're all too old to do that.
I really appreciate you doing that, that's great, that's great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm kind of driven to do it because I've been observing
Yeah.
things that I never saw happening before in our neighborhood. And it's not spoken about because if people aren't out chatting with each other, and in the heat, nobody is, you know?
No,
So
no.
they don't realize what's going on, and I think that's
Yeah.
not a good thing.
That's weird that he came back at night, too.
And that's unbelievable.
Yeah,
Because they just got 3 new cars. They leased their cars
Yeah.
every so many years, and I'm just wondering if that was the lure, it had something to do with, because the son was out there washing his car the day the kid talked to him, the man talked to him, and
Yeah.
came back to the same house that night. And I said, there's a draw there, what is it?
yeah.
You know,
So it was
could
that
be-
pen that he needed 4 miles away.
Well, you know, he lied, but what a stupid, you know, he couldn't have said anything that would have
Yeah.
made some sense, but that surely didn't. So thank you for your time, I appreciate it.
Thank you
Thank you for
very
the
much.
Thank you
information.
for all you do, I know it's a
Thanks.
thankless job.
All right, thank
Well,
you.
Keep
Thank
smiling,
you,
right?
thank you. Yeah. All
Good
right,
night.
good night. So, anybody here for owners forum? Hey, Caroline, let me know if, next month if you wanted to go on and if you got something,
Okay,
okay? All
Yeah.
right.
let's hope not, but
Yeah.
we'll see.
All right. All right, so anybody have anything else for owners forum? No? All right, then, meeting adjourned, and
I
we will
make a
do.
motion to adjourn the meeting.
Yep, and we have executive meeting for us after, so.
Second, that motion.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, so,
Aye.
aye, the five of us can hang out then.